Welcome to Hannity and Colmes. I'm Alan Colmes. We have lots to cover tonight. Coming up, news helicopters capture a deadly police shootout on live television. We'll show you the tape and analyze it for you. And then can you guess what this is? It's a roadmap for illegal immigrants showing them how to safely cross the border into the United States, and it's being distributed in Mexico. Tonight you'll meet the man behind it, plus a stunning videotaped confession. A Catholic priest describes in a deposition how he seduced unsuspecting little kids. Take a look.
And if hugging starts off, and then I might just drop my hands and start fondling the genital area, and all the time sort of looking for an okay or a permission. And if I wasn't getting a resistance, that was allowing me to go further and further.
It's absolutely frightening. We'll hear from the man who took that deposition. The Olive North was in the middle of more action today near the Syrian border. We'll get a live update from Iraq and play the brand new video. Plus, country legend Charlie Daniels will be here to give us the exclusive first look at his brand new album. And take a look at this shocking video. It shows students beating one of their classmates in a California school, and it was posted on the internet. We're going to show this to you. First, our top story tonight. A body believed to be that of missing college student Gina Zelenardo has been discovered on Slaughterhouse Island in Lake Shasta, California. On last night's program, we spoke with Gina's mother and uncle. Tonight, we're deeply saddened to bring you this terrible news. Gina's family released this statement just a short time ago. We wish to sincerely thank all the people that helped locate Gina and bring resolution to our nightmare. We're also grateful for the outpouring of support and prayers of all our friends. Joining us now with the latest details is Shasta County Sheriff and Coroner Jim Pope. In Spokane, former LAPD detective, Fox News analyst Mark Furman will be joining us in just a moment. Sheriff Pope, what do we think happened here? What led to this?
Well, we're not sure at this point. We've got a body that we're pretty sure is Gina's, and we're collecting evidence and looking at it, and we're going to have an autopsy on it on Monday. There's no signs of trauma at this point, so we're just looking at it as a suspicious death.
So when you say suspicious death, do we think this was an accident, or do you think it was foul play?
Well, we're not sure. Can't go there yet.
And what are you doing to determine that at this point?
Well, at this point, we're having autopsies, I mentioned, on Monday. I have detectives in Oregon interviewing Gina's boyfriend and other people up there. And also we're collecting evidence, physical evidence, and so on, and trying to do everything we can to determine what happened.
And you're not prepared at this point to say whether you're leaning one way or the other, foul play versus accident?
No, not yet.
Apparently there was an extensive search of the island. It's a very small island. That, is it true, yielded no results? What was it that ultimately led to this finding?
Well, what happened she was reported missing Sunday morning, and we did a hasty search, which we just kind of walked through hollering, making noise, and trying to find. And we had really bad weather that day, and the island is really thick. I mean, it's real thick, dense vegetation, brush, with a few trails on it. And Monday we had divers, and we were flying over with helicopters and patrolling the area. Tuesday, we continued to fly and patrol. We did some planning for this morning. This morning at around 7 o'clock, we had a big briefing. We had about 40 or 50 volunteers and our search and rescue people. And we started grid searching, like elbow to elbow on the ground, across the island, back and forth, as well as we started diving, grid searching around the island. And about 2 hours into the search, about 11:10 this morning, we located the body in some deep, thick vegetation.
Let me introduce at this point Mark Furman, who now joins us. Mark, welcome back to Hannity and Colmes. You've been following this case as well. What do you suspect happened here?
Well, this same type of incident happened in Lake Coeur d'Alene a few years ago, right up here in Idaho, and it was the same situation, a party boat. Same situation, somebody was missing and they fell off the boat, struck their head and drowned. I would suspect that is the first thing that everybody believes happened, but of course the autopsy will determine just exactly what the cause of death was before she went in the water. or during the time she was in the water.
Mark, I know we're suspicious in a Scott Peterson world and all these other cases that we've had, and I don't want to be unfair to the boyfriend. There had been reports that they had had a fight. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but the police had ruled him out as a suspect. Does that tell us, in terms of anything happening afterwards, does that tell us that they were able to find an alibi, which would be great for him if that's the case?
Well, you know, when I read this story and everything I've heard about it, it seems like she stormed away. There was an argument. She stormed away and went outside of the group. That probably means he stayed with the group, and that is probably something that can be corroborated through multiple people. So, you know, just because they had an argument, a spat, two 22-year-old kids, I'm not sure that that's going to hold as a motive.
No, I agree. And apparently we had her mother on last night, and our prayers and thoughts go out to the family tonight. And she said this was a frequent pattern with them. And I think we are too suspicious too often, and it's unfair, but it had been reported. What will the autopsy show us, Mark, if there's foul play based on the location? Will there be enough evidence that they'll be able to determine possibly who did this?
Well, you know, Sean,
if there's foul play?
Right. Well, if she died of blunt force trauma, her lungs stop working, and she's not going to have water in her lungs the same way as if she drowned. If she drowned from asphyxiation through drowning, then her lungs are going to be filled with water. So this will be something that you'll be able to tell once the autopsy is done. Sure. And of course, the type of blunt force could have been after she went in the water, but it could be a combination. She could have struck her head on the side of the boat falling in.
Sheriff, do we know if there was a lot of drinking going on before this incident?
Yeah, there was quite a bit of drinking, and there's evidence of beer cans and bottles all over the area.
What?
We're talking about 400 to 500 students in the area at the time.
You say it's suspicious, yet we're waiting for an autopsy, obviously. No trauma, no indication of anything that you can read into this?
No, we have some thoughts and ideas, but we're holding off till we make sure.
Yeah, are there? Can you say if there are any people that are people of interest in the case, sir?
No, we don't have any suspects. We're just interviewing everybody that we can find to talk to about it, actually down here and up in Oregon.
So there's a good possibility this just could have been a tragic accident?
Possible.
Yeah. Mark, I guess one of the things when we hear about incidents like this, we tend to get very suspicious. Are we unfair? Because I don't want to be unfair to anybody who had contact with this girl. I mean, is it a Susan Smith world we live in, a Scott Peterson world? I mean, I'm sure if nobody had any involvement in this, especially the boyfriend, he had an argument with her, he probably feels awful today.
Well, you know, this happens all the time in America, Sean. Accidents happen. You know, this is a kind of a bad combination. This is what we always said was an accident waiting to happen. 40 boats tied up together, drinking with a bunch of kids that don't have the maturity to know when to say stop. So, you know, it's still an accident. It's an accident that didn't have to happen, probably, but accidents happen like this all the time.
All right. Hey, Mark, thank you very much. Sheriff Pope, thank you as well for being with us tonight. And coming up next, should deadly police chases be shown live on TV? We're going to show you the controversial video and debate it. And then why is an Arizona group giving illegal immigrants maps and tips on the best way to sneak into the United States? We'll ask the group's president. You're not going to believe this story. And a former priest describes in detail how he molested children for decades. We'll show you his shocking confession and hear from the lawyer who deposed him. And Colonel Oliver North will join us live from Iraq with some exclusive video you will not want to miss. Also, country music legend Charlie Daniels stopped by to talk about his brand new album. All that still to come tonight on Hannity and Colmes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Uma Pemaraju. Citizens of U.S. allies will soon need upgraded passports in order to get into the U.S. Right now, people from 27 nations are allowed to enter without a visa. But as of June 26, their passports must be machine-readable, and by October, they must also include a digital photograph or embedded fingerprint. President Bush doing a little congressional arm twisting, trying to get approval for the Central American Free Trade Agreement, also known as CAFTA. The president gathering with Latin leaders in the Rose Garden today to highlight his support for the measure. He says it will lift barriers to U.S. exports. Opponents such as trade unions and sugar farmers say it'll cost American jobs. Congressional steroid hearings kicking off again next week. Major League Baseball Commissioner Bud Selig will answer questions about players juicing up. The Football, Basketball, and Soccer Commissions will also testify before the House Commerce, Trade, and Consumer Protection Subcommittee. The inquiry is separate from the one that's being done by the Government Reform Committee. Well, Mother Nature having a few laughs at the expense of folks in South Dakota who actually thought it was spring. A storm dumping nearly a foot of snow in the Rapid City area. Thousands of homes in the dark as broken tree limbs knock down power lines, fallen trees blocking streets, and slippery conditions sending drivers into ditches. I'll be back at the bottom of the hour. Hannity Colmes continues right after the break. And for all the latest headlines, log on to foxnews.com. Stay with us, everyone.
Top Story is brought to you by Vesicare.
All of us have internal plumbing. But for some of us with frequent urges, our pipes just don't work as well as they should. Sometimes you worry you could spring an embarrassing leak. So why deal with it on your own when there's something more you can do? Treat it once daily with Vesicare. New Vesicare can reduce urges and may even help relieve bladder leakage. If you have certain types of stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems, do not take Vesicare. While taking Vesicare, if you experience a serious allergic reaction, severe abdominal pain, or become constipated for 3 or more days, tell your doctor right away. Common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, blurred vision, and indigestion. So why wait? Ask your doctor today if Vesicare is right for you. Fewer urges and leaks. With new Vesicare, it's not just a pipe dream.
And all the things I had in mind, you and me. Say something new about you.
Why have 4 wheels if you're not going to use them? The Subaru Legacy with symmetrical all-wheel drive standard with an available 250 horsepower turbocharged boxer engine. It's a performance sedan like no other. And now, for a limited time, take advantage of this special offer on 2005 Legacy models. Think, feel, drive one today.
Through May 31st, receive up to $1,500 cash savings on select 2005 Legacy models.
As we continue on Hannity and Colmes, I'm Sean Hannity. Still to come tonight, an Arizona group, you're not going to believe it, they're giving illegal immigrants maps. That's right, maps of the best places to cross the U.S.-Mexico border and break our laws. We'll show you the maps and confront the president of this group. But first, California television stations provided live coverage of a high-speed car chase in Long Beach yesterday that lasted nearly 50 minutes and reached speeds over 100 miles per hour. The car had been stolen during a home invasion robbery, and the officers observed that the suspect had a gun. At one point, he almost ran over a group of pedestrians, including a man right there and his 4-year-old child. Los Angeles TV stations were still covering the chase live when the suspect suddenly, as you can see here, jumps out of the car at a strip mall, holding his pistol you see in his right hand. The TV cameras capture the police right there opening fire, and when he reaches for another gun in his pocket, in his waistband, he's shot dead. The chase reignited the controversy over whether high-speed chases should be shown on television, especially in the early evening when many families are tuning in. Joining us now for more, we continue with former LAPD Detective Mark Furman and Bob Turr, an Emmy award-winning journalist and helicopter videographer. Thank you both for being with us. Mark, I got to tell you, I may surprise some people here. You know what? People know when they're watching these chases how they may conclude. I actually think it does a public service in many, many ways, because it teaches people not to run from the cops, and number two, it protects the police from charges of, quote, overreacting.
Well, Sean, I personally love it. You want reality TV? You got it. You know, people send their kids to matinees to watch more blood and gore than 1,000 of these police shootings will ever show from a helicopter. I think it's good for the American public to realize that when you're that stupid and you know you're going to get caught, and you wheel around with a gun in your hand and one in your waistband, the police are going to kill you and cancel your ticket right there. I love it.
You know, Bob, when you see that he almost hit this father and his daughter, when you see how reckless he caused, I think, 2 accidents, look at that here, taking out the guardrail the way he did and then keeps going right after this. I think people have less sympathy at the end of the day. What the result is when they see the gun in the guy's hand, when they see him reaching for that second weapon. People understand that the cops had no choice here. It's a good thing, right?
I think it's a very good thing. I think the public got to see what law enforcement officers are encountering, and it was a clean shooting. In fact, I can't understand why you're not showing the termination of that man's life. I think we need to see that, and I think the criminals need to see this, and I think the public needs to know what our officers are facing.
Watch right here. He comes out of the car. In his right hand, he has the gun. They have it. The police are shooting there. Now he reaches for another one. See? Now the cops... And I think what we can learn from this, Bob, these guys have like a split second to decide. And yet we're so quick to condemn cops.
You know, there were several points during this pursuit that officers could have used, maybe used their weapons to shoot the car, shoot the tires out. But we don't do that out here in California anymore. There have been some shootings that have been televised where the officers, you know, they were second-guessed. You know, these are very deadly pursuits. The public is put at major risk. I'm really generally against pursuits. However, this was a textbook for, you know, good shooting policy, good police pursuit policy. The Long Beach police did a pretty good job, and they got a very bad person off the street.
I think we all agree it's good that we saw this. Let me ask you, Mark, should we have shown that last part where the guy gets killed? I know they went to a wide shot, apparently. Is that good or bad that this is shown on television?
Well, I think it's great. I think kids need to realize just exactly what happens when you jump in a car with some moron that wants to steal a car, not knowing how he got it, not knowing if he has a gun. Then that innocent person is put in that position to be in that car during that kind of pursuit. I think it's a good reality check for kids, especially teenagers.
To see the death.
And maybe even the convicts out there that are thinking a little cocky like they're going to run from the police.
To see the death, to see the end of it, to see the guy get shot and killed live.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you know, Alan. We watch it every night. We watch it every night on TV, and we make believe. Let's do it for real.
But it seems like a lot of people who object to it when it's in a dramatic form, when it's dramatic presentation, say, oh, that's too much violence on TV. But you don't object when it's real life in real time and it's really happening.
No, I don't object at all. In fact, this is news, and not only that, it is reality for the people that live in the community. I think it's a good rallying point for the citizens that do the right thing. I think it's a great rallying point for law enforcement that, like Sean says, law enforcement is confronted with this dozens of times every day in this country. You second guess them when they're not on video, then you second guess it when it is on video. And the second guessing comes, should we run it or not? Show the police and how they're doing things. Show them when it's a happy ending.
All right, Mark, by the way, Mark Furman, you are writing a book on the Terry Schiavo case. You've been down investigating it. We're really looking forward to it. When do you think it's going to be out?
It's going to be out June 28th, Sean, and I think it'll be really good when we do this on the show.
All right, we're going to be watching and looking forward to that. Mark Furman, thanks for being with us. Bob Turr, thank you for being with us. Appreciate it. And coming up next, as the Minutemen work to secure the borders, there is another group working hard, and you can see the maps there, to help illegals get into the country. They give them maps, how to do it, water stations. We'll tell you the disturbing efforts of one group to help infiltrate our borders, and we'll confront them. And later in the show, the shocking video confessions of a former pedophile priest. He describes in terrifying detail just how he would target and seduce young children. You need to hear this so you can protect your kids from the likes of him. Straight ahead.
Ford 500 is elevating the safety of the sedan. Now the 500 has earned a 5-star crash test rating in all 4 categories. In fact, when all the testing was finished, there was only one question left to ask. How did you do it? The new Ford 500, elevating the sedan. Ford, built for the road ahead.
Hey, Herman, what's that?
It's a server.
server, an on-demand IBM e-server. It can monitor itself, manage itself, optimize itself, protect itself, practically heal itself.
How'd it get here?
Maybe it ordered itself.
Self-optimizing IBM eServer X series with Intel Xeon processors.
It's allergy season, Old. Time to choose an allergy medicine.
Pick one of those. You could be suffering again in 6 hours.
Oh no, Allegra 180!
It lasts 4 times longer.
Why would I even consider those others?
One dose of most OTC allergy medicines may not last as long as you want, but just one Allegra 180 lasts up to 4 times longer than one dose of most OTC allergy medicines.
Long-lasting Allegra is still working.
For people 12 and over, side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or backache.
Allegra works around the clock.
Long-lasting Allegra. The relief goes on.
Hey, how's it going? Nice shirt. Listen, the bean dip's starting to get a little funky.
What?
Speaking of outdated, are you still watching digital cable?
How'd you get in here?
DirecTV has 100% digital quality on every channel. Digital cable calls itself digital, but it's not digital on every channel.
Okay, I'll get on that.
Hey, don't leave me in here with the Mushu pork. Dark and cold.
It's time to rethink TV. Sign up now and get over 140 channels for only $29.99 for the first 3 months. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Every day inside Playhouse Disney, only on Disney Channel. Twist and turn. Imagine and learn with JoJo's Circus. Here we go. It's full of fun. Whoa. Encourages kids to move about. First you bend forward. Wow, what a bow. And teaches a great lesson in every show. I learned that no matter what, always do your best. JoJo's Circus, every morning inside Playhouse Disney, only on Disney Channel.
You're a homeowner, right? So why are you paying as much as 18% interest on your credit cards? Right now, Countrywide Home Loans is offering a home equity line of credit with an introductory rate of just 3.99%. And this interest is usually tax deductible. It's an incredible rate, and it's from America's leading lender. Apply today and you could pay off your high-rate credit cards with this low introductory rate of 3.99%. No one can do what Countrywide can. Call today, 1-800-641-8627.
Welcome back to Hannity and Colmes. I'm Alan Colmes. Coming up next, a priest who taught thousands of Sunday school students confesses to molesting kids, and it's all on tape. Let me show you the chilling testimony. First, Human Borders is a nonprofit group that maintains over 70 water stations for immigrants crossing into the United States from Mexico. The group now plans to distribute maps in Mexican cities that warn of the dangers of walking through the desert. The map includes a warning in Spanish, don't go, there isn't enough water, it's not worth it. The map also clearly shows the distance on foot from certain Mexican towns to the United States and marks water stations, Border Patrol rescue beacons, and places where migrants have died in the past year. Is this a necessary humanitarian effort or an advertisement for illegal immigration? Joining us now, the president of Humane Borders, Reverend Robin Hoover. Reverend, I know you're going to get beaten up by conservatives. Me. In just a moment, at least one of them, who says this is terrible. You're encouraging illegals to come in. As I understand it, your mission really is just the opposite. You're warning them about the dangers of coming.
We want to get people out of the desert. Our government's not doing it. The Mexican government's not doing it. We want to give people real concrete evidence of what happens. You die when you cross our desert. Our government puts out these little public service announcements that scare people. We want to give people real concrete information. And as far as the conservatives, I just want you to know that Duncan Hunter's brother, John, also operates water stations in California, and maps for the California water stations are coming this month.
So how do you respond to the argument that you're encouraging them rather than helping them rather than discouraging them from coming in?
You know, just show me how I'm helping anybody. This is a warning. If we wanted to get really good navigable maps, you can get better maps from our real estate office. You can get better maps off the website. You can get better maps from the Arizona Tourist Bureau. All this is a little topo representation, kind of like you're at the mall, and it says, don't come.
What about the idea of having water stations? And what you point out is where there are not water stations, and even that is controversial. Some people don't like the idea that water is being provided for those who are crossing, thinking that's encouraging them as well.
In August of 1994, Doris Meisner, the then commissioner of INS, signed off on a report that predicted how many people were going to die in the Sonoran Desert once we U.S. implemented its current strategies. And now we're reaping the fruit of that. 250 people died out here last year. So if we can get the federal government to do something about immigration, about security, about the migration in the desert, and people dying in the desert, then we don't have to have any water stations.
But the water stations encourage them and say, oh, look, I'll be able to make it because they have these water stations there. This is the mindset on the other side. If they have the water stations, they say, look, this gives me a chance to get through and live.
We had 617,000 apprehensions in the Tucson sector of the Border Patrol in the year 2000. We had no water stations. In 2001, we started putting them up, and the number of apprehensions went down.
Hey, Robin, do you call law enforcement? Do you call the authorities when you see illegal immigrants taking your water? You do?
Yes, Sean.
Every time?
Not every time.
Why not?
If we find somebody that's healthy and well and knows where they're going and they don't want us to call, that's not our business to implement.
But what you're doing
law.
is you're acting really cute because you're saying, oh, don't come, don't come, don't come. But, oh, by the way, this is the path, this is the map, this is the location. And by the way, we're going to provide the water along the route to help you, to assist you, to use other words, aid and abet in your law breaking against the United States of America. You are assisting in their law breaking.
We're doing this, Sean, under federal permits to operate on the federal properties. We have city support, county support, and both of the congressmen
in Mexico or in the United States
support this.
In Mexico or the United States?
City of Tucson, the Pima County, and both congressmen, U.S. congressmen from Arizona in southern Arizona.
I didn't ask you that. The map we're looking at, is that in Mexico or the United States?
It is in Sasabee, Sonora.
Okay, it's in Mexico. So what you're doing is you are giving a map and you are giving water locations to help aid, abet, and assist in the law breaking of the United States of America and to assist in the invasion of illegal immigrants into America, which opens up a door of security issues, and our law enforcement resources are being used to combat what you are assisting. So you're assisting law breaking.
Sean, in Canada, I can come up to the border and get maps of the U.S. side with bus connections to where I want to go. This is a warning poster.
No, it's not. It's an assist poster. It's here, go this way, and if you come here, stop here for water, stop here for water, take this path. This is the tried and true. 1 day here, 2 days here, 3 days here. You're assisting law breaking.
Anyone would be a fool to navigate with that map. It is not precise.
It's not precise. Then why did you put it out with the blue signs for where water is?
It doesn't have enough reference.
Then why did you put why did you put it there then if you don't want them or expect them to use it?
All right, Reverend, we thank you very much for being with us. Coming up, a disturbing deposition given by a defrocked priest on tactics he used to lure in and molest little boys. I'm going to show you his chilling testimony coming up. An exclusive video from Operation Matador will go live to Iraq with Olive North. That is also coming up on this edition of Hannity and Colmes. Stay with us.
After Dad's stroke, we found out his insurance would let us take care of him here at home. He likes it better here. Right, Dad?
Food's better.
Long-term care insurance from Mutual of Omaha.
Social life is not much.
Begin today.
We go through this every time. Red.
Blue.
Leather.
Cloth.
Whoa. Now that's a car.
No, that's my car. I built it on the web, and they sent me that the next day. Printed and personalized. My color, my interior, where to go. They even gave me a free CD player. It can be here in a week.
Well, at least we talked about it.
Joe, you're glad we got the Durango, right?
Of course.
And you liked all the money we saved when we bought it, right?
Got us a bigger boat.
Oh, and how about the Hemi engine and the DVD player and the hands-free sound? Then why won't you use the navigation system?
I'm not lost.
Dodge Durango.
This is starting to look familiar.
It's a lot of great stuff for a great price. Dodge Durango with 5-star, the highest frontal crash test rating. one thing baseball fans can agree on. It's Major League Baseball on XM satellite radio. Every team, all season long. And now, for a limited time, buy an XM satellite radio and get a second radio free, so you can enjoy even more music, news, sports, and talk. XM satellite radio.
Life's full of surprises. That's why no one is more focused on getting your car back to normal than your farmer's agent.
This one?
Farmers Auto Insurance. Get you back where you belong. To find a farmer's agent near you, call 1-800-FARMERS.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Uma Pemaraju. President Bush's nominee for UN ambassador clears a big hurdle. Let's go live now to Fox News national correspondent Steve Santani in Washington for the very latest on this story. Hi there, Steve.
Hi, Uma. The controversial nomination of John Bolton is heading now to the Senate floor, where prospects are good for his confirmation. After moments of high drama in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee today, Republican Senator George Voinovich begrudgingly allowed the nomination to go forward on a party-line vote. The nomination was sent to the full Senate without a recommendation for approval. It's rare that a nominee is sent to the Senate without a committee endorsement. Voinovich was sympathetic to Democrats who think Bolton is too abrasive for the job. He called Bolton an ideologue who fosters an atmosphere of intimidation. His comments give more ammunition to Democrats who believe Bolton tried in the past to coerce intelligence analysts to support his views. So there could be a nasty fight on the Senate floor, but in the end, Republicans control the Senate with a majority of 55 to 45, and Republican leaders stand firmly behind the president's choice of Bolton to be U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. It's unclear when the Senate will take up that nomination. Uma?
Steve Santani in Washington, thank you. We'll have more news just after the top of the hour. Hannity Colmes continues, and for all the latest headlines, log on to foxnews.com. You're watching the most powerful name in news, Fox News Channel. Stay with us, everyone.
As we continue on Hannity Colmes, I'm Sean Hannity. Also coming up tonight, Operation Matador. Offense entered now its fifth day. Colonel North was there. He's got the pictures. He'll give us a live report. Also, Charlie Daniels will stop by tonight. But first, a former priest who served time for sexually abusing children has been caught on tape revealing disturbing details about he succeeded in molesting kids and seducing them during his time as a parish priest in California. At one point on tape, attorneys asked Oliver O'Grady to demonstrate how he would approach a hypothetical victim.
Just use the name Sally. Okay. Hi, Sally. How you doing? Come here. I want to give you a hug. You're a sweet hug. You know that. You're very special to me. I like you a lot. She might respond, I like you too. And that would allow me to give a better hug to you.
O'Grady was questioned as part of a lawsuit brought by his victims against the Diocese of Stockton, California. The victims claim the diocese knew O'Grady was a sexual predator and that they failed to protect him. Joining us now is the attorney who actually traveled to Ireland to depose O'Grady. John Manley is with us. John, thanks for being with us. This is a chilling tape that I hope every parent sees, John, because as he describes this sick seduction of his, luring these kids in like that, what was it like to sit next to this man?
It was horrifying, but at the same time, you got a glimpse into not only the life of a pedophile priest, but unfortunately a glimpse into the ugly side of the American hierarchy. Because as bad as what Oliver O'Grady did, the people who gave him access to the children were my church's bishops, including Roger Mahoney. It's stunning.
You know something? You're really looking in the face of evil that anyone would rob the innocence of a little child like this. And he talks about luring them in this interview you do with him. You know, give them a hug, compliment them, tell them they're special. And this is a person in a position of authority, somebody that parents would think that they can trust, which makes this evil more insidious.
Well, more than just trust. As Catholic children, we were all educated that at the moment of consecration in the Mass, that the priest, Oliver Grady, is in fact Christ. And the thing that's interesting about what you said, Sean, is that you recognize it immediately. I recognize it immediately. Why didn't Roger Mahoney recognize it when he was reported to the police in 1984?
Yeah.
Instead of recognizing it, he made him a pastor. He promoted him.
Well, he knew about the allegations, about specific allegations. It's unforgivable to me. And I'm going to tell you, the church is an institution. They must get rid of this corruption at the root, and that means if it's Mahoney and he knew and he promoted him, he should get out of there.
The Diocese of Stockton knew when he was ordained. They knew in 1976 when he wrote a letter apologizing for molesting a little girl to her parents. It was in the diocese files.
Unbelievable.
They knew in 1983, they knew in 1984, and they did nothing. And what the church needs is regime change, and nothing has changed in the church but the rhetoric. And these men who let these men loose on little boys and girls should not only get out of office, but they should go to jail.
Mr. Manley, it's Alan Colmes. Anybody ever asked them why someone like this was promoted? Do we have an answer to that question?
Yeah, well, Cardinal Mahoney's deposition was taken in this case, and his testimony was that in 1985, if he learned that a priest was sexually attracted to a little boy or little girl, he would not have removed them from ministry or parish. He said he wanted victims and evidence. Well, let's look at that. In 1984, this was reported by O'Grady's therapist, who was an employee of Catholic Charities, who Roger Mahoney employed. And he reported him because he admitted molesting a child in a therapy session. And what happened is the diocese squelched the investigation, told the police they were going to put him in a parish without a school, and he was going to get counseling. It was an isolated incident. The diocese did not tell the police that in 1976 he had molested another little girl. They did not tell the police that the parish they put him in had catechism classes with 500 kids in it, and they did not tell them that he was already getting counseling. The reality is not only did they do nothing, they put him in a position where he would molest more children. It's so bad that the pedophile himself was trying to get help. Father O'Grady was holding sex addicts anonymous meetings in his own parish that Mahoney sent him to try and cure himself. These guys put a predator on the street being morally certain he was going to molest, and it's disgusting, and more importantly, it's not Catholic, it's not the faith, and these bishops need to go.
I couldn't agree more. I hope you'll continue to pursue that corruption, because if you don't, the church won't survive. John, thank you for being with us. We'll continue after the break. First, we got a lot more coming up tonight. We check in first with Greta Van Susteren. She's standing by to give us a sneak peek of what's coming up in 23 minutes from right now. Greta.
We have news in the Michael Jackson case. Celebrity lawyer Mark Garagos has been ordered to appear in court tomorrow morning at 8:30. We have all the details. Plus, 2 women disappeared from a small town. Very suspicious circumstances. We've got all the information on that and much more. Back to you.
And on the record at the Hannity Colmes tonight. And coming up next, U.S. troops are still engaged in the largest operation in Iraq in 6 months. Colonel North is there. He's going to bring us the very latest. He has new video in Operation Matador. And then just back from a visit to our troops in Iraq, Charlie Daniels will be here and tell us why his drummer had to play on garbage cans. Straight ahead.
What is the power of inspiration? Can a car be beautiful and help keep you safe? Yes. Can a 5-star crash test rating give you confidence? Yes. Can a 340 horsepower Hemi give you fuel efficiency without sacrificing power with advanced MDS technology? It just did. The totally new Chrysler 300.
Now grab $1,000 May bonus cash on the Chrysler 300. Hurry to your Chrysler dealer. Offer ends soon.
Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
If you think judges should be fair and well qualified, look at these women. Janice Brown is the daughter of sharecroppers. She put herself through school and rose to become the first African-American woman on the California Supreme Court. Brown has won praise from Republicans and Democrats for being fair and honest. Other judges call Janice Brown superb and extremely intelligent. Priscilla Owen was twice selected to serve on the Texas Supreme Court. Endorsed by major newspapers, Owen got strong bipartisan support and the ABA's highest rating. President Bush nominated them and many others to be federal judges, some as long as 4 years ago. But Senate Democrats have abused the rules and refused to even allow a vote. So courtrooms sit empty while thousands of Americans have their cases delayed. The job of a U.S. Senator is to vote. Urge your senators to vote, up or down. Enough is enough.
For active traders, it all happens here, online. That's why we made Scottrade Elite fast, easy to navigate, and easy to customize, so everything's right where you want it. Streaming data, level 2 quotes, advanced technicals. You can test your strategies with virtual trading, manage multiple accounts from a single screen, and trade unlimited shares for just $7 flat, market or limit. Sometimes it pays to think inside the box. Demo Scottrade Elite today at ScottradeElite.com.
Welcome back to Hannity and Colmes. I'm Alan Colmes. Coming up, he's back from entertaining the troops in Iraq. You'll hear from country music star Charlie Daniels of the Charlie Daniels Band coming up. First, U.S. troops continue to battle the insurgents linked to Jordanian terrorist leader Mossab al-Zarqawi in Iraq's northern province of Anbar. Take a look at some of the exclusive video that came in today. Joining us now live from the battlefield in Iraq is Oliver North with an update on the U.S. offensive Operation Matador. Ollie, what's going on?
Alan, this is day 6 of Operation Matador. One of those who's been in the thick of the fight right here beside me, Lieutenant Paul Kroom, who's now being evacuated today because of burns sustained when that assault amphibian vehicle was blown up by a mine. There were Marines killed in that vehicle. They were all evacuated successfully by the U.S. Army's remarkably brave dust-off pilots, brought back to medical treatment, some already now back on their way to the States. Lieutenant Kroom among those who's being evacuated from here out in Al-Qaim because of the burns that he sustained in that unfortunate end to a very successful operation. Alan, what's happened out here is that the guerrillas who've been operating with impunity in this area, north of the Euphrates, and right up against the Syrian border south of the Euphrates, have been rocked on their heels. Over 100 of them killed, hundreds more have been detained, and for the first time in many, many months, law and order restored to this part of Iraq. What's clearly needed at this point is Iraqi military forces who are ready to move in and work with these Marines in this area, just like they have been in Fallujah, bringing peace and a whole lot of stability to an area that, as you know, when we were out there the last time, you couldn't walk around at all without a flak jacket and helmet on. If they get the Iraqi troops out here, that's the way it will be in this part of Iraq. Alan?
About 400 lives claimed since the new government was formed about 2 weeks ago, and we keep hearing about increasing insurgency. How long before we get additional Iraqi troops? What's the status of their training at this point?
Well, what happens when you come out on an operation like this, you're almost in a bubble underneath it. It's hard to get news from anywhere else, and Lieutenant Kroom knows that because he's been out in this. But my sense is that what you've got is an Iraqi army that is struggling to form, train, equip, and get troops deployed. You don't want to use local troops out in this kind of a circumstance like the original concept of a National Guard. You want to use army troops that are made up of Sunni, Shia, Kurds, Turkmen, who come in from an outside area and build rapport with the people on their own, not because of familial connections or clan ties or tribal relationships, but in fact because they represent the government. And there has been no government out in this part of Iraq for some time. In fact, even under Saddam, this part of Iraq was the Wild West.
Hey, Colonel, it's Sean. I mean, this is really heated up, and actually since the moment you hit the ground there, Colonel, we're looking at this video. And I think one of the things we're trying to establish here, and this has been written about fairly extensively since you've been over there, it's a combination of Saddam loyalists and outside insurgents, i.e. possibly Al-Qaeda, Syrian-connected people, correct?
Well, that's what it is, and I think Lieutenant Kroom will validate that. The question is, who is the enemy out here? A mix of foreign terrorists and locals, or is it just an insurgency?
Yeah.
Sir, I think it'd definitely be a mix of both. I mean, we see some local Iraqis, especially in the Al-Anbar province, that, have a stake in this themselves. Just like you said, Saddam wasn't even able to control this area, but we also see the foreign fighters coming in, and, it seems that they are intent on just keeping order away from this part of Iraq.
It's very clear that the neighborhood, particularly out here, Sean, where we're right up against that Syrian border, there's neighbors that do not want this government to succeed.
Well,
and there are people in those neighboring countries that are flowing in here to basically disrupt the possibility of a real democracy working here in Iraq.
Colonel, you've been over there a number of times, and every time you're over there, you're on with us almost every night. And I'm watching this in particular, this new video you're sending over, Colonel, and you can see just how dangerous this job is for these guys, because you're passing these homes and you have guns pointed at them. You don't know if any of these insurgents are in there. You've been in warfare going back to the Vietnam days, Colonel. On a scale of 1 to 10, how dangerous is this for our guys?
Well, right now, this part of Al-Anbar province is as dangerous as it gets. I mean, this is the Wild West. The only law and order you've got out here, the U.S. Marines, soldiers, and, of course, those Navy corpsmen that are out here looking after the wounded. You don't have any Iraqi government out here, and you stand a good chance of being shot at 24/7 by anybody who's in the neighborhood because of that lack of law and order. And when Lieutenant Kroom was out there on that AAV, that mine, probably a set of 3 enormous mines, could well have been laid by a foreign terrorist. They could have been put in by one of the local insurgents. Could have been there for weeks. We drove over that same mine several times. It took that AAV to set it off.
Ollie, we thank you. We thank the Lieutenant. Thanks for being with us tonight. Coming up next, more than 45 albums, and Charlie Daniels can still get a hit. The legendary fiddler will be here with a new CD, and later, a boy is beaten in his school's bathroom, then bullied all over again on the internet. We'll show you the shocking videotape coming up on Hannity and Colmes.
Night sweats, they go on, then off, then on. Hot flashes, then something else comes off.
If menopausal symptoms are disrupting your life, Premarin is approved to treat symptoms and prevent bone loss. If you don't have symptoms, consider non-estrogen treatment instead of an estrogen like Premarin to prevent bone loss. Premarin should not be used to prevent and may increase the risk of heart disease, heart attack, stroke, or dementia, and may increase the risk of breast cancer and blood clots. So use it for the shortest time based on goals and risks. If you have a uterus, estrogen increases the risk of uterine cancer.
I'm soaked, I'm dry, I'm cold, I'm hot.
I'm not. My doctor prescribed Premarin.
Premarin is not right for every woman. Discuss its use regularly with your doctor. Don't use Premarin if you've had unusual vaginal bleeding, breast or uterine cancer, blood clots, liver problems, stroke or heart attack, or think you're pregnant. Side effects may include vaginal yeast infections, leg and abdominal cramps. With 5 dosage strengths of Premarin, your doctor can choose the lowest effective dose for you. Isn't it time you asked about Premarin?
I'm so ready.
Want to check out your Dish Network statement? You don't have to use this. Use this. Just go to Channel 100, Dish Home Interactive, and select Customer Service. Check out your charges. See when your bill's due. Even pay your bill, just using your TV and Dish Network receiver. So the next time you need information about your account, don't pick up the phone. Pick up your remote and tune to Channel 100. Customer service that's easy and convenient from Dish Network.
Playing this month on Dish Network pay-per-view.
These girls want to party with us.
You're getting married on Saturday!
Sideways.
You really think Julia's having an affair?
Get out of my room!
Being Julia.
You're wonderful.
Don't ever forget it.
I don't kiss strange men.
Did you ever love me?
Closer. Take a break from routine TV. Order a movie from Dish Network pay-per-view.
It's like a totally different world. All the background noise starts to dissipate.
I don't know how we traveled all that time without them.
Experience the Bose Quiet Comfort 2 acoustic noise-canceling headphones. They deliver an unmatched combination of noise reduction, highly acclaimed audio performance, and comfortable fit.
It makes hours of sitting on a train just more enjoyable.
I do study with them on and use it to listen to music on my computer.
I either have a CD player actually on my desk or the MP3 player.
These light and comfortable headphones electronically identify and reduce noise while faithfully preserving the music.
They're so light, I don't even know that they're there.
The first couple of times I would put them on and I flip the switch back and forth to hear the difference.
It puts you in your own little space.
It's really great.
It's phenomenal sound. I mean, it's hard to describe.
Use our risk-free 30-day trial to experience the Quiet Comfort 2 headphones. Order by May 31st, 2005 and receive free express shipping. Call today and leave the noise behind.
As we continue on Hannity Colmes, I'm Sean Hannity. Coming up next, a young boy is assaulted at school. His attackers, they actually, look at that, they post this attack on the internet. So is this going on in your child's school? We'll show you the tape coming up in a minute. But first, he may be known for The Devil Going Down to Georgia and me blowing that song. But Charlie Daniels now sings about the Lord above. Joining us now with his brand new CD, Songs from the Longleaf Pines, a gospel bluegrass collection. The one and only, our good friend Charlie Daniels. How are you, man?
I'm doing good.
Good to see you. So good to see you. Back from Iraq?
Shake with the left hand.
The left hand handshake. That's the way to do it.
You know, for those that don't know you as well as I do, and I have the honor of, I think, calling you a friend, religion, your faith, is the most important thing in life.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This is
the biggest thing in my life, absolutely, definitely. These songs, actually, on this album, we're talking about are old bluegrass songs I used to do years and years ago. My first serious band I ever played in was a bluegrass band, and I got away from it for a lot of years. And then when I got the opportunity to do this, it was like getting back on a bicycle. It just kind of all
It came right back in.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, but when you play a concert, obviously people want all your hits throughout the years, and you've had a couple of hits in recent years. This Ain't No Rag and others that may have been huge hits for you. You just mix it into the mix, the gospel, say, all right.
Oh, yeah, we do a gospel song every night.
Every night.
Yeah, I do that song. I say I want to do a song in praising my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
That's easy to do.
Well, it is for me.
That's where your heart is.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
You said to me even before you came on air, you feel, and I feel the same way about my career. You feel blessed to do this.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a blessing to be able to do something you like to do for a living.
And you're going to do 150 dates?
100, probably 15, 20, something
well,
like that.
I'm about to get you for 2.
Well, let's do it.
We're working on it.
Another Freedom concert.
We absolutely.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
I got to tell you, though, it's I've watched you work, and I've watched other people in your industry work. You have more energy than guys half your age on stage. You are unbelievable on stage. You are. When you come off the stage, I actually saw you one time. You come off the stage. Hey, great job, Charlie. You were soaking wet.
You're supposed to be when you come over. But, you know, the thing is, if you only work 2 hours a night, you can do that.
Yeah.
You devote yourself. But I still get butterflies when I stand on the side of the stage. Oh, yeah. I mean, not literally, but speaking of being excited about going on stage, I can't wait to get out there. I can't wait for the spotlights to hit me. I can't wait for...
And you're ready to go.
I'm ready.
And you played in 20,000... What was the biggest crowd you ever played before?
The biggest crowd I ever played in front of, actually, was probably at the Isle of Wight back in the 70s. There's like 325,000 people there. But I was working with a guy named Hannity Colmes at the time.
Right.
Yeah, but it was amazing. Some of those crowds I used to have back during the old, what they call rock festivals, were 250, 200,000 people.
Just you feel like you connect in a big crowd? I've seen you play.
I play the front row.
You play the front row. Is that what you always do?
Yeah. Well, you know, you can't see the rest of them anyway. I play to everybody, but actually, just like right now, if I was performing, I would be performing for the people who are standing around the studio. If nobody else, the camera people and stuff, because I'm a live performer. That's what I do.
And you want to get the instant feedback.
Yeah, definitely.
See, I do a little stage show. We call it the Barnstorming Freak Show Political Pornography Tour, the Hannitization Tour, and there's nothing else like it. That instant feedback and seeing people and connecting, and it brings the best out of you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, as long as you connect with the people, that's the thing. Is you play for the folks that are standing out front.
You never get up there and forget a lyric, do you?
Oh, I have done it, Alan.
What happens?
Well, you know.
No, I saw Hannity's pathetic performance.
Here we go. Here it comes.
Well, usually, of course.
Well, Devil Went Down to Georgia. That's a tough bunch of lyrics and all.
No, it's not. I can do it right now.
Well, I tell you what, I had a hard time doing. I had a hard time when we did the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because we did Devil Went Down to Georgia, and they cut it up. I've been doing it the same way for 25 years.
You didn't have a malfunction there, did you?
No, I almost had a lyric malfunction. But I was literally standing back in the corridor going out. We were standing back. We rehearsed up until time to walk on the field and play the thing because it was different than I had ever done it. It was, because it had to be shortened down a lot.
Yeah.
And it took me right up to the last minute to actually get it in my mind, and I still wasn't sure. But when we walked out, we saw all those people.
Now you had a close call performing in Iraq. You did about 5 different countries. And Afghanistan, Iraq, Kuwait.
Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan.
Right. And what happened? You were in a helicopter.
Well, we were coming back in one night from doing a show. It was only night flight we had in a Chinook helicopter, and as we got about 5 minutes away from the airport, our landing area in Baghdad, these spotlights came on, and I heard a plank up under the bottom of the helicopter. They had armor across the bottom.
Wow.
And I didn't know what it was. They started shooting off the chaff and the flares.
What were you thinking?
I thought they were doing an exercise. I thought they were doing a maneuver.
It didn't occur to you this is combat?
No, I didn't realize it until it was all over with. And I never felt. I said my prayers, asked the good Lord to give me peace about going up there, and He did. And I had peace during that whole thing up there. And I never felt in danger at all.
I understand when you gave your band the option, you didn't say this is mandatory, you got to come.
No, sir. Nobody. I talked to everybody in the band. I said anybody that does not want to go, you know, by all means stay here. Don't try to go. Everybody wanted to go. Everybody wanted. You
travel. You have like a magnificent bus. I understand. Is that?
Well, I don't know how magnificent.
I've been on it.
Serviceable. Yeah. We do. We travel comfortable.
So how do you make it comfortable? You're on the road like 150 nights a year. How do you make that work for you?
We have my wife travels with me now. We have a bedroom, and we have television. We have a roaming satellite. We want you guys going down the road
on the bus, huh?
Yeah.
Get Fox News.
Yeah, we do. We do a lot.
Yeah.
And
you mute him when he sees.
Hey.
I got to do his radio show tonight. I got to be nice.
You're coming to radio. You may sing a little bit for us
I'm going to sing a little bit for you tonight.
That'll be great.
Sure enough. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Charlie, you are a great American. It's always good to see you, my friend. This is a great album. I hope everyone get a hold of the songs from the Longleaf Pines. It's Charlie's new CD, Gospel Bluegrass Collection. And of course, you can get it on Amazon.com, music stores everywhere. And good to see you, Charlie. Coming up next, a child is beaten at a school. A horrible attack. It's caught on tape by the attackers themselves. We'll show you a new form of bullying. It's chilling. Straight ahead.
And tonight, jurors hear from Michael Jackson in his own words. And the judge in the Jackson trial threatened celebrity lawyer Mark Garrigus. We're going to tell you why. Then stunning new information about the lies runaway bride Jennifer Wilbanks told police. You won't believe how elaborate her story was. And police have new information tonight about a missing student who disappeared from a party over the weekend. Plus, a nationwide manhunt is underway right now for a cop killer. He's armed, dangerous. Can police catch him before he kills again?
gas emissions, and only one kind of power can deliver them both. That's why ExxonMobil is now making the largest ever investment in independent climate and energy research.
For active traders, it all happens here, online. That's why we made Scottrade Elite fast, easy to navigate, and easy to customize, so everything's right where you want it. Streaming data, level 2 quotes, advanced technicals. You can test your strategies with virtual trading, manage multiple accounts from a single screen, and trade unlimited shares for just $7 flat, market or limit. Sometimes it pays to think inside the box. Demo Scottrade Elite today at ScottradeElite.com.
When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with
Some
you.
people are happier at work than others. They're using Kyocera printers and copiers. Kyocera, brilliant color, advanced technology that's simple to use, and a low cost of ownership. They're people-friendly. People-friendly printers and copiers. Only from Kyocera.
The whole world smiles with you.
Finally tonight, the parents of a Hercules, California high school student say their son is the victim of a hate crime. 17-year-old Hassan Ragozar suffered a broken jaw when he was ambushed by a classmate and another unidentified male in the Hercules High School bathroom Friday. A third suspect videotaped the incident and later posted it on the internet. Police have arrested one suspect and continue to search for others, including one who they believe is an adult. The boy's parents fear their son was targeted because of his Iranian descent. Police are investigating the allegations. I can't believe, it's hard to believe an adult would be involved in such an action, and that person should surely be prosecuted.
I would take this tape, I'd bring it to the prosecutor, I'd get these kids, and I would charge them with a crime. And the crime is assault. And unless and until that is done every time, it's going to continue. This is the type of thing they think they're most smart. Give it to the cops, arrest them, and then that'll end it.
And sometimes kids don't know any better, but, you know, that's really not an excuse. But if there's an adult involved in this, that person should truly be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Any kid that's doing that to another kid, that is assault.
And any adult who might be encouraging kids to do it, that's even a more heinous offense.
Look, we've been debating we're on our 9th year. I haven't hit you yet.
Because I have lawyers. That's all the time we have left for tonight. We toss it now to Greta Van Susteren, who is here to go on the record. Greta.
Alan, tonight's celebrity lawyer.